All over the world, people enjoy sharing the food and drink that they love. And more, they're also taking an interest in sharing where it comes from and how it's produced. Here on the island of Ireland, our fresh, clean air and lush grasslands, nourished by plentiful rain, enable our cows and our dairy produce to be grass-fed. Together with an agile industry that responds to changing production requirements with speed, we're able to ensure a consistent, secure supply of premium quality dairy produce. Our dairy farmers and producers not only adhere to the EU's high food safety standards, but through their membership of Origin Green, Ireland's leading-edge national food quality and sustainability programme, they do so much more to serve the global market. As members, their work is measured and independently audited to drive continuous improvements across the supply chain in areas such as food safety, traceability, animal health and welfare, greenhouse gas emissions, and water and soil management. Dairy produce from Ireland, where we work in harmony with nature, like nowhere else in the world.
When it comes to dairy, more and more consumers are looking for a high-quality, natural product. Here in Ireland, our lush green pastures, temperate climate, and enduring tradition of herds grazing outdoors means we are uniquely placed to produce exactly that: natural, premium quality dairy. Introducing Ireland's new grass-fed standard for Irish dairy, developed by Bord Bia, the Irish Food Board. The Bord Bia grass-fed standard offers reassurance to consumers everywhere of premium quality dairy from a grass diet that is both naturally nutritious and tasty. It is the world's first independently verified grass-fed standard based on data collected from each farm through Bord Bia's National Sustainable Dairy Assurance Scheme to assess the grass-fed status of each herd, providing assurance for what we have long known to be true, that grass is intrinsic to the quality of Irish dairy. The standard provides a verification that the qualifying Irish dairy herds enjoy a diet that is an average of 95% grass or grass-based forage. It also guarantees that those dairy herds have grazed on open pastures for an average of 240 days a year. Through the Bord Bia grass-fed standard, Irish processors will now be able to provide verifiable proof of the distinct qualities of Irish dairy, with qualifying products proudly bearing the grass-fed standard logo. Grass-fed dairy from Ireland, where we work in harmony with nature, like nowhere else in the world.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the Bord Bia FHA Match Dairy Webinar. I'm Patrick here from Bord Bia. I'm the market specialist for dairy. Today, I'm happy to be joined by our guest of honor, Mr. Kieran Gallagher, who is the Director of Bord Bia Southeast Asia Office, to share with us about the sustainable Ireland dairy. Hi Kieran, thank you for joining us. Let's start off the session by asking you a question. What is Origin Green and what is its relationship with the sustainable Irish dairy?
Thank you, Patrick, and welcome to all the attendees of FHA Match Dairy. Origin Green is Ireland's national food and drink sustainability programme, and it's the first of its kind in the world. But perhaps I'll back up first and give some more background on Bord Bia and Irish dairy in general first to set the stage for that Origin Green. Firstly, to introduce our agency, Bord Bia, and why people might like to set up a meeting with us today. Bord Bia, which translates to the Irish Food Board, is the Irish government agency responsible for marketing Irish food and beverages overseas. So you can think of us as the marketing or the business development arm of the Irish food industry. Here in Singapore, We work every day with Irish dairy companies to help them find suitable partners in Southeast Asia. And we also work with buyers in Southeast Asia to explore opportunities with Irish dairy. So for those of you watching today, if you are interested in free advice and introductions to the most suitable Irish exporters for your business, or even if you're just curious in exploring what opportunities exist with dairy from Ireland, this is an open invitation to you to set up a meeting with us. So you might ask, why Irish dairy? So a bit of background on my home country. Ireland is a country of 5 million people, so not far off Singapore, but we produce enough food to feed 25 million people, and that's almost the population of Australia. We are a proud and committed member of the European Union, so you can take advantage of all those recent trade deals between Europe and countries in Asia, such as Singapore, Vietnam, Korea, and Japan. And Ireland exports food to over 180 countries around the world, and the leading category is dairy. Now, the reason that dairy is so important to us is that Ireland has the perfect natural environment for dairy production. Our air is fresh and clean, blowing in off the Atlantic Ocean, with the PM10 levels the 4th lowest in Europe. And that same ocean ensures we have a mild climate all year round, never too hot, never too cold. And that allows our dairy cows to graze outdoors for most of the year. And we also get rain, plenty of rain all year round. And that natural water supply means that there's enough for agriculture. We don't need to irrigate the land separately. And all of these add up to an agricultural system that is naturally sustainable. However, this is where I come back to your question on Origin Green, because we felt it wasn't enough just to say that we were sustainable. Nowadays, buyers and indeed consumers want proof, and that's where Origin Green came in. This was our answer. So what is Origin Green? Origin Green is Ireland's food and drink sustainability program that unites government, the private sector, the full supply chain from farmers and food producers through to food service and retail sectors. And Origin Green enables our food and drink industry to set and achieve measurable sustainability targets, that these respect our environment and they serve local communities. And crucially, Origin Green is about measuring and improving how we do this on an ongoing basis in order to build and protect that global reputation Ireland has for food sustainability. So we know that sustainability is becoming increasingly important to customers and consumers around the world, including here in Singapore and broader Southeast Asia. So we are confident that buyers at FHA Match will be interested in this. So we'd be delighted to go into a bit more detail in the individual meetings.
Thank you. Secondly, what is grass-fed standard and what does it mean to the consumer?
Sure. I already mentioned Ireland's natural advantages when it comes to dairy. That temperate climate, the plentiful rainfall, the clean air, and the deep, rich soils. And all of these add up to a long grass growing season. In fact, Ireland has the longest grass growing season in the Northern Hemisphere. Our cows spend on average 240 days per year on pasture grazing naturally. And when Bord Bia brings buyers back to Ireland to witness this for themselves, one of the common responses is that they now understand why Ireland is so commonly linked to the colour green. And on the other end of the scale, we know among consumers and customers that demand for grass-fed dairy is growing as customers look to it for sustainability credentials, for perceived nutritional benefits, or for taste and functional qualities. So with this in mind, we strongly believe that all the buyers at today's event do have an opportunity to leverage grass-based systems such as Ireland's. But the question remains, what do we actually mean when we say grass-fed? And to answer this, we recently launched the Irish Grass-Fed Standard. This allows us to define exactly what it is we mean when we say that it's grass-fed, and in turn give confidence and clarity to our customers and partners around the world. Now, when you get into the definition and how we measure it, it can quickly get technical, and I'm really happy to go into those details with people. Perhaps the one-on-one meetings would be more suitable. But maybe just for this introduction, I'll mention that for a processor to use a Board BIA verified grass-fed claim on a product, the milk must average 95% grass-fed on a fresh weight basis, and all of the herds are certified members of Ireland's Sustainable Dairy Assurance Scheme. Now, we know that the launch of the Irish grass-fed standard is another step in building Ireland's reputation as a trusted supplier of quality, sustainable dairy products. And again, I welcome all parties listening to this to set up a meeting with us directly for more information and see how this can benefit your business.
Lastly, what is the objective of the Irish dairy supplier they want to achieve in the Southeast Asia region?
Southeast Asia is a priority region for Irish dairy, and one where Irish dairy producers are actively seeking new distributors, new importers, and customers. Many of our leading dairy exporters are seeking long-term partnerships in the region to supply that sustainable quality dairy I spoke about. And they're very willing to work hand in hand with up-and-coming manufacturers to help formulate new products and recipes that are most suitable for Southeast Asia customers. And I should mention that Ireland's dairy portfolio is pretty comprehensive. We have a well-established dairy industry producing core dairy ingredients to the highest of global standards, such as milk, cheese, butter, cream, and a whole range of dairy powders. And Irish dairy processors also add value to your products by producing highly functional ingredients with applications across multiple sectors. So whether you're in clinical nutrition, senior nutrition, sports nutrition, bakery or confectionery, food service or retail, there are ingredients in our portfolio that can benefit your product and indeed your bottom line. And I should also mention that Irish dairy producers are also tailoring and customizing ingredients to meet customers' needs and investing in innovation and research to meet the needs of dairy consumers of the future. And lastly, since our dairy alone is going to over 140 countries around the world, our expertise extends to high caliber logistical capabilities. So in summary, with all this in mind, I can confidently say that there has never been a better time to explore business with Irish dairy, and we hope that this event will lead to some new partnerships. So thank you very much for your time today. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, and I think they will be here for the long term. Thank you for sharing.